Pleasant good morning to each and every one. Welcome to what we call Cruising with the Case Handler. It's what we do right here each and every single weekday. I want to say thanks to each and every one for joining us right here on this wonderful, beautiful day, I should say. A very historical moment in our life again. Unbelievable. It's 29 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock. We're live on 93.5 WVIP FM. We're also live on Facebook, asking all our Facebook viewers to please share the show, Cruising with a Case Handler, show on personal injury and immigration. I am David Squeeze Anarchy of the Link Up Media Group of Companies here on Link Up Radio 93.5 WVIP FM, and with the attorneys from the firm Pollack, Isaac, and Lisico. And I will... Before we get into speaking about personal injury and immigration, we can't circumvent what is happening in our nation. In my opinion, it's very embarrassing, and I can use some other expletives and some other words, but I'll hand it over to the managing partner of Pollack, Isaac, and Lisico to continue the introduction of the show and hear if he has any comments here with Mr. Pollack.
Sure. Yeah. Are you talking about the Knicks won again last night? It's always darkest before the dawn, as they say, right? And I guess that's appropriate here. You know, I mean, everybody's watching television to see what went on in the Capitol yesterday, so there's no need to rehash. But just, I'm not surprised. You know, Trump has been leading us in this direction for so long, and yesterday it came to a head. Hopefully it came to a head. Hopefully there's not more in store for us the next 2 weeks, you know. Right. But it's nice to see, I mean, granted a little late, but it's nice to see that a lot of these Republicans are finally, after nearly 4 years, you know, finally lining up against him and you know, criticizing him. And although some of them aren't actually criticizing. I was watching Fox News last night, watching Tucker Carlson. So I just love to hear what the other side says. And he was comparing this to Antifa demonstrations over the summer and how much worse that was, and just it's just crazy stuff. You know, it's hard to believe that we are living through times like this. You know, 15 years from now, 20 years from now, they'll be teaching this in schools, hopefully. You know, hopefully, and you know how things shouldn't be in a democracy, and just again, personally, this is Trump. You know, he lit the fuse yesterday, and he's brought this on, and he's loving it. You know, he hasn't criticized these guys. Just, yeah, I'm speechless. I don't know what else I can say.
Well, I'm not speechless, and I want to say good morning to everybody. What a way to start the show. My goodness gracious. Those of you listening on 93.5 FM, you may want to throw yourself off the bridge. Don't do it off the George Washington Bridge, though. I heard there's a 90-minute delay. The whole Cross Bronx Expressway is flooded right now. My name is Adam Handler. I am your case handler. We are Pollack, Isaac, and Lisico. Today with me, as always, is my co-host Squeeze, David Anarchy. We've been doing this show in one way or another for over 15 years. Of course, we got the maestro, Conrad Pollack, the managing attorney of this firm. We got the general, Alan Kay, the most experienced immigration attorney broadcasting on these airwaves. We call this show Cruising with the Case Handler. We do it every day, 5 days a week, weekdays live, 9:30 a.m. We thank you so much for joining us. And if you can safely do so now or safely do so later, check us out on Instagram, check us out on Facebook, check out PPID, and check out the Case Handler. You got a legal question, we got a legal solution. You got a legal question, we got a legal answer. Let me give you the number a few times just to kind of stir things up here, and then we can go back to our favorite topics. But we do have a law show to talk about, and let everybody know that we are exceptional attorneys that do things very, very differently than the other attorneys out there. Our phone number is 844-774-3529. That's 844-774-3529, or easy to remember, 844-PPID law, 844-PPID law. PPID are the initials of our firm, Pollack, Isaac, and Lisico. I'm certainly down with PPID. I've been a partner of this firm for 6 years, having moved my personal injury practice here. Conrad, of course, is down with PPID. Alan is down with PPID. I guess the only person I can pose this question to right now is just check it in. I always got to check in with you, Squeeze. Are you still down with PPID, and why?
Still down with PPID. You know me. Come on, man. Anyway, let's continue. Man, this is the most energy I've seen of you.
Well, I was just going to say, somebody had their extra large cup of coffee this morning.
Well, listen, I was late. I logged on at 9:22. Nobody was here. A client just came into the office literally 5 minutes ago. He signed for his settlement, $25,000. Literally, this just happened 2-3 minutes ago. I asked him, I said, hey, you're here. You want to go on my show with Squeeze? No, I don't want people to know with my business. I don't want people to know I just got 25,000. So of course I'm super excited. It was the maximum we could have gotten him. Job well done, of course. His accident was February of 2020. So essentially we got him the most money possible within 1 year. So I am excited. And then I come back, I sit down, and all of a sudden everybody's talking about Trump again. We gotta change the narrative. We got 2 more weeks of this jerk, and then we're done. Let's change the narrative. What can
the good news is that Biden has been certified to be the next president, as if that hasn't been known for the last few months.
And Trump can
and the Biden administration is going to be bringing a lot of good news for immigrants in this country,
Absolutely.
Which Alan will go into more detail on. But this is good news. So yeah, it's despicable what's going on television and seeing all this crazy stuff going on here that we never expected. But there are certainly good times ahead. That's for sure. Especially lost in all of this is the fact that the Republicans have lost the Senate. So now the Democrats have all 3 houses of the government for the next 2 years, excuse me. And that's going to pave the way for a lot more accomplishments and repairs of the immigration system. That's for sure. Yeah. Correct, Alan?
That's right. And I'm going to talk about it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to Cruising with a Case Handler. Thank you, Adam, for injecting some energy in the show. All right. And welcome back again. Ladies and gentlemen, we're getting into some immigration questions. We're getting into some personal injury talk. Make sure you note the number 844-774-3529. That is the number for the law firm Pollack, Isaac, and Seco in New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, a full service law firm. And of course, 844-774-3529. Hire them today, call them today, get your consultations in 844-774-3529. Gonna have Alan bring us up to speed with a couple of updates on immigration. Then we'll jump over to personal injury with Adam Handler, talk about one of his true success stories. He just did a settlement in his office right there for a gentleman for $25,000. He has already started. Is that your first settlement of the year, Adam?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is. Yes, we have a couple of things brewing, some big things, as they would say on Jamrock. But yes, we got some big things coming. But yes, that's the first settlement of the year. First week of the year, and we've got work to do. Listen, we did over 20 million last year, so piece by piece, we're gonna get it done for the case handler clients.
All right, no problem. That's Adam Handler, our personal injury attorney and partner at the firm Pollack, Isaac, and Seco. Remember, if you get into an accident, you make sure you call him. 844-PPID-LAW. That's 844-774-3529. Alan, I'm quite sure you got a lot to say.
Yes.
Okay, talk to me on immigration. What's good?
Conrad had just mentioned about the Democrats taking control of Congress, meaning that Alejandro Mayorkas has been nominated to be the head of the Department of Homeland Security. The Department of Homeland Security includes CBP, Customs and Border Protection, includes ICE, includes USCIS. The Senate has to confirm his pick. Now that the Democrats control the Senate, there's not going to be any problem with Mayorkas being officially named as the head of the Department of Homeland Security. Now, he's got to do a balance between immigration advocates who want an overhaul of immigration policy and law enforcement people who want strong borders. But the nice thing about Mayorkas is, number one, he is backed by the country's largest police union. That police union backed Trump in the recent election, but also came out in favor of Mayorkas. Mayorkas is somebody who he put in the DACA program. He limited deportations when he was in his role as previously assistant in the Department of Homeland Security. So he's going to have to do a kind of a balance between the people who want stronger law enforcement at the borders, but the people who want an overhaul of immigration policy. So the fact that Mayorkas has won the backing of law enforcement officials, the Fraternal Order of Police has endorsed Mayorkas, calling him an outstanding choice. Even though they backed Trump over Biden in 2020, they called Mayorkas an outstanding choice. And he's uniquely qualified to do this. He's an immigrant himself. He came to the U.S. as a Cuban refugee as a child. He's a former U.S. attorney. This is really a great, great choice, and we're going to see a lot of good things from Mayorkas. Biden is already committed to pausing deportations for the first 100 days once he comes in. So this is a really, really good news that Mayorkas, there's not going to be any problem. The Senate is going to confirm him. He's a great choice. We're going to look for really good things in terms of Alan Mayorkas being the head of the Department of Homeland Security. I've met him. He's a terrific guy. He's a lawyer. So that's one important thing. Now, some of the other news items I'd like to talk about. When we mentioned that the New York State has passed the Protect Our Courts Act, so people who have court cases going to New York State courts, including maybe some of Adams' cases, if they're not legal, they don't have to worry about being arrested by ICE, because ICE cannot enter the New York State courts to try to arrest people. Now, public charge, you still have to do the 944. That's still in effect, and that's a pain in the neck, and it's a difficult one to handle. So, and if you have a public charge question, you're better off calling PPID and for a consultation. Health insurance is back in because of a court case. You're going to have to show health insurance either when you have your interview with immigration here, CIS, or when you have an appointment at the American consulate.
Before you go further, Alan, you were saying something about PPID could assist with that yesterday. I wanted to expand.
If you have a public charge question, because in immigration cases where you're filing for adjustment of status, immigration cases where you have a relative back at the consulate waiting for an immigrant visa, the question of public charge is going to come up, and there's a very problematic form called the 944, and you're going to need help doing that. It's a complicated form. Even lawyers have problems doing the 944. That's especially a case where you have a 944 problem. You better call PPID because you're not going to be able to do it yourself. Citizenship, we talked about the new citizenship test, which is in effect for people who filed recently for citizenship. This test is designed to make it more difficult for people to understand and more difficult for people to become citizens. This is a carryover from the Trump administration. There's been a problem of getting receipt notices from USCIS, taking up to 10 weeks to get your receipt notices. So if you haven't gotten a receipt notice, there's a problem, and recognize that we can try to help you if you can. Communicating with the New York District Office, you can't call them, you can't email them, you can't get in touch with them. It's really difficult. We can help you if you have a problem with USCIS. Call PPID. If you want to get in touch with USCIS, the only way you're going to be able to do it is either through a lawyer, through PPID, or by calling the 1-800 number, which is a pain in the neck. Application support centers where you go to get fingerprinted, part of an immigration case. There are approximately 1.3 million people waiting for their appointments for biometrics as of mid-December. 280,000 people had their appointments for biometrics canceled between March and June. So we're waiting for those appointments to be rescheduled, but that's going to be a problem. EOIR, the immigration courts in New York, they keep pushing it back. The latest date is January 22, 2021. So if you have a removal case and you don't have a date yet and you're not detained, you're not going to hear anything about the new date for your case until January 22, 21 or worse than that. Now, if you have traveled internationally and you plan to travel internationally in the near future, you will not be allowed to enter a USCIS field office without first being in the United States for 14 days. So if you have an interview scheduled with USCIS and you just came in for an international travel and it's not 14 days, they're going to cancel your interview. So keep that in mind, that if you're traveling overseas and you have something going on with USCIS, it's going to be canceled because they're not going to let you come in for your appointment until 14 days have passed. Let me just see if I've covered everything. Okay, visas. Visas.
This morning, seeing that we didn't do that yesterday, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't have any time yesterday, so now we got a time now. One more thing on USC, the American consulates overseas had closed down for quite a while because of COVID. They're first starting now to come online and schedule appointments. And it really depends on the particular consulate, what's going on in the country with COVID. So there's kind of a phased resumption of visa services. So not exactly sure. We'll find out for the next program what's going on in Jamaica, whether they're still kind of opening up, whether they're fully for business. They've always favored, and they have to, problems with American citizens. So if you have an American citizen, you've got something going at the American consulate, you get first priority. So I think I've covered the hot topics.
Alan, what about travel bans? What's going on with that?
Well, Trump extended the travel ban, but we're waiting to see what happens when he leaves. And don't expect Biden to change everything right away. Some things he's promised to change within 100 days, but it may be a little difficult for him automatically and right away to reverse the travel ban. I think it's going to be changed, but not right away. So we shouldn't really expect everything that Trump did to be reversed within the first 100 days. It's going to take some time.
Absolutely. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the show called Cruising with a Case Handler. We're talking personal injury, we're talking immigration. We're about to switch it over to the case handler right now. The phone number to call the firm, PPID, is 844-774-3529. Many of you are out of status and you're out there, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, Staten Island, throughout the entire United States, maybe outside of the United States. Immigration is federal. So Pollack, Isaac, and Nasico can handle your case. What I've been talking a lot about since the year started and even last year is for you not to handle your own case. We have heard the nightmares. Come to Pollack, Isaac, and Nasico. Let them handle your case. Do not screw it up. Do not get put in removal proceedings. Make the call. Once again, 844-774-3529. That is the phone number for the firm. Call them now, get your consultation in, and then hire them. 844-PPID-LAW. You just heard from Alan E.K. We call him the general, the man that's got a wealth of experience and knowledge on immigration. So right now, let's flip it over to the case handler, Adam Handler. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Living the dream, of course. You know that. Listen, you know, we do such a good job with our social media, and Conrad and I have been pretty much all week talking about it, how important social media is to get the message out. Because, you know, we can do these shows every day. Listen, I've been doing this show consistently for over 15 years now, and everybody out there listening on 93.5 FM, I'm sure knows who I am and knows what I do and knows what we do as a firm. But I love the social media aspect of our marketing because it really does highlight and illustrate the real life success stories, the true success stories. You know, we can be on this show every day for a half hour talking about our firm and talking about changes in immigration law and talking about, you know, politics. But I think the most illustrative part of what we do here is those smiling faces, those true life success stories, those people that have come before you listening, that have had a legal problem and have looked to us for that legal solution. You know, I handle the injury cases. I don't meddle in the immigration cases. I do find it extremely interesting and it's important. Most of my clients are immigrants or have or a family of immigrants. But, you know, personal injury is my passion. And, you know, I say this every time when I talk about our cases. Nobody ever expects Squeeze to get in an accident. Nobody decides, never thinks getting up in the morning, brushing their teeth, taking a shower, eating some breakfast, getting in their car, heading to work, right? And think that they're going to get in an accident, think that somebody's going to run a stop sign, think that a police officer is going to be in a high-speed chase with a criminal and they're going to plow into you. We just got that case, and we've got crazy video one day we'll show. Nobody thinks that they're going to be stuck in traffic and somebody's going to ram into the back of their vehicle. Nobody thinks they're going to be on that construction site, right? And all of a sudden, a sledgehammer falls 2 stories from above you and smashes their head. But these things happen. You know why I know these things happen? Because these are cases that we've had for our clients. In these cases, we have had successful results for. So the best thing you can do, at this point, I don't even care if you write down our phone number. The best thing you can do right now is just know we're out here. Know we exist, know we're exceptional, know we care, and know how to get in touch with us. My name is Adam Handler. I'm your case handler. We're at Pollack, Isaac DeSico. As long as you know those names, PPID or case handler, you'll figure a way to get in touch with us. You can Google us, you can save our number, but the most important message we can give you right now is that we are here for you. We've been here for the community for decades, embracing them. They're embracing us back, and the work we do, like I said, is exceptional. Let's just go to a specific quote. This is a case we haven't talked about in a while. Squeeze, if you would read that quote for me, the Brown family from Bronx. You're on mute, brother.
Once again, Adam Handler, the case handler. All right. Adam and his team were great at keeping us updated on our case wherever we were at. There's no other lawyer like him, and that's like underlined right here as we read it from the casehandler.com page. Go with Adam and his team. You can find them exactly where we did. 225 Broadway, on the 3rd floor, exclamation sign. The Brown family from the Bronx. On the 3rd floor, okay? 225 Broadway, exclamation sign.
And this was a very, very serious accident, a rear end collision. They had their baby in the back seat. I mean, can you imagine,
Wow.
just driving your family around and all of a sudden somebody runs up into your back. You're in the front, right? But behind you is your child. It's such a scary, horrible situation. They did. We got them a very, very significant settlement. They didn't want that being broadcasted on our social media platform. Of course, we respect that. But let's go to another one, a broken ribs settlement. This dude here, we've talked about him before. He looks like Pharrell. I always thought that. And he didn't want people knowing how much he got, but broken ribs got him the maximum amount. And he was so grateful. If you can read that quote for me, Squeeze, I'd appreciate it.
Absolutely. Great with a capital G. This man is the best by any test and is true to his word. Whether it's a small or big case, he's going to deliver. He goes the full 100% to make sure you're satisfied. And this is from Kenneth. It says confidential settlement. That means money.
He didn't want to know, but this is a diagram of the accident. I mean, the car is spinning around, going across the wrong lane. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you'll never expect these terrible things to happen, but they do. And the insurance company, rest assured, is going to do everything they can to screw you over and screw your family over, right? So the only way to truly prevent yourself from being a victim twice, because you're a victim in the accident, you don't want to be a victim when it comes to being shortchanged in the amount of money that you deserve under the law. To prevent yourself from being that victim twice, I highly suggest you consider our firm, Pollack, Isaac DeSico. You seriously consider your boy, the case handler, to represent you when disaster strikes, because we will make it right. We will fight for you like family, just like I did with that gentleman a few minutes ago. Like I said, I was late to the show because he was signing his papers for his $25,000 settlement maximum award. He was super excited, didn't want to come on the show, but we really do get life-changing money for life-changing injuries, please.
Adam Handler on fire this morning. Wow, what energy you have brought with 2021, man. I like that. That's the Adam Handler that we want at the firm. That's the Adam Handler that we want handling our cases. That's the Adam Handler we want, period. We call him the case handler. We call him the beast. We call him the shark. We call him the man that you need to seek after you get hurt in an accident. course, after you've sought medical emergency. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you call him. If you get into that car accident, bus accident, truck accident, bicycle accident, slip and fall, construction accident, medical malpractice, any accident, you may just want to reach out to him first and find out if you got some recourse. His number is 844-774-3529. Everyone listening to the station, everyone watching us on Facebook, dial the number, store the number. You will need it in the future in some capacity, whether it's immigration, personal injury, or otherwise. Make it Pollack, Isaac, and the C code. Don't go above the third floor when you're at 225 Broadway. 844 PPID LAW. Immigration attorneys. Let's flip into immigration now. Thank you, Adam. Are you guys ready for some immigration questions?
Oh, ready.
All right.
Always ready.
Alan, just speak a little closer to the computer so everybody can hear those brilliant answers you're giving us.
Okay, I'm right closer.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we ask the immigration questions of the attorneys, and they give you the answer. It is also the reason why you should go with these knowledgeable, experienced attorneys. Don't go anywhere else. I've said it so many times. Call the firm, 844-PPID-LAW. Let's go to question number 1. In 2018, I applied to a college to study in the United States. When I went to the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica, I was denied the student visa and my B1, B2 was revoked without them giving me any explanation. In 2019, I got married to a U.S. permanent resident who is in the military. What would be your best advice? My advice before the attorneys answer, you should have used PPID to just handle everything for you. But go ahead, Alan.
The best advice is to have your permanent resident wife file for an immigrant visa for you right away. It may take a year and a half, but eventually you'll get here as a permanent resident. So don't waste time. Contact PPID. We'll set this case up and we'll file the petition by your permanent resident wife for you and get you here in maybe a year to year and a half.
All right. Once again, folks, the immigration attorney is answering the question. That was Alan E.K., the attorney at the firm. He's been there for a while. We call him the general. That's how long he's been there. All right. I have been married for 4 years. My husband recently decided to leave me and has now filed for a divorce. He moved out on November the 2nd, 2020, and I was served the divorce papers on December the 22nd, 2020. Sorry to hear. I have the conditional 2-year green card, which was extended for 18 months after we, my husband and I, filed the papers on August 7th, 2020 for the permanent 10-year green card. My question is, how can this affect my filing status and what is the best way to move forward? Conrad.
Yeah, well, it's certainly going to affect your status. You filed with your husband, and when you did that, you basically told immigration that you and your husband are still together in a valid marriage, and you have to prove that. You may be called in for an interview to demonstrate that, or more likely, you'll get notification from immigration sometime this year asking for further documentation to prove that you and your husband are together. If you get the interview or if you get their request for documents, you're going to have to come clean. You're going to have to tell them what's going on. And at that point, you're going to need to submit proof that you have a divorce, or if the divorce is not yet done, proof that the divorce is proceeding. And you're going to probably get called in for an interview at that point. You need to call us. This is not something you're going to be able to do on your own. A lot of people file those joint petitions, the 751s, without a lawyer. Fine. But you're at the point now where you will need an attorney. I would certainly suggest you call us to help you on this. You're going to need to get that divorce done. I don't know how far along the divorce is. Sounds like it just began. Divorce in New York could take anywhere from 4 to 6 months. Hopefully you have somebody who's doing the divorce and know what they're doing, because you're going to need that divorce. You are not going to be able to get your permanent card without having that divorce first. And even if you have it, you're going to need to demonstrate it was a valid marriage. So you have some work ahead. And the downside here is if things don't go right, if your application gets denied, you will be placed into removal proceedings. Good news, I guess, is that with Trump leaving, you wouldn't be put into removal proceedings as quickly as you would have a year ago. Hopefully you won't be put into proceedings at all by the new administration. But as it stands today, if your application gets denied, you will be put into deportation proceedings.
Okay.
Again, this is another situation where you really should call us come in and see us. This is a complicated case.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, we're going to the top of the hour, gentlemen. Once again, for everybody watching, listening to us on 93.5, I am David Squeezaniki. I am here with Conrad Pollack, the managing partner of the firm PPID, the General Alan E.K., okay, another attorney, and also, of course, the man who handles all the accident cases, the case handler himself. Now, as we get to the top of the hour, if you'd like to continue watching us, you can switch over to our pages. There's so many: Link Up Radio, Jamrock, the Case Handler page, PPID's page, David Squeezaniki's page. Switch over, continue watching us. I've got quite a few more questions. However, everyone out there, if you need help, call the firm at this number, 844-774-3529. Get that consultation in, retain them, hire them, go with PPID. 844-774-3529. That's 844-PPID-LAW. Thank you.
It's 10 o'clock.
Gotcha.
Nailed it.
All right, let's get to another question.
Jamrock. You know, I haven't heard Jamrock in a while, man. Those were good times. Those are times that, well, man, Conrad, Squeeze had this office, right? At 225 Broadway. What it was on what, the 27th floor? What floor was that?
28th floor.
Which one?
28th floor.
Okay, he had like half the floor, and it was all like decked out like a nightclub. It was this big open space, and it would just have models, like models sitting around for his magazine. Remember that, Squeeze? I'd come in.
They were not just sitting around. They were taking pictures for the magazine, not just sitting around.
All I know is I wanted to go up there as much as I could. You know, so I was like, yeah, I gotta talk to Squeeze about something. I'll be right back. I'd go up there. Those were fun times, man.
It sure was. Okay, but we're still in fun times, man, because we're here. We're doing a great show. So let's continue with some questions on immigration. Once again, everybody watching us on Facebook, I noticed our numbers since the year started have been climbing again. Please share, join the groups, share in the groups. Let them know about the attorneys here. Let them know about the Conrads, the Allens, and the Adam handlers. Let them know about that. Great show. We got a lot coming. We're putting together radio shows in Jamaica. We're going to try to put it in other countries where once a month we go live for 1 solid hour answering your immigration questions. And guess what? It's not costing you anything as we answer the immigration questions as we do here. It won't cost you anything. The only thing that we ask for you to do, as Adam says, is to tip your waiter. Tell people about Pollack, Isaac, and DC. Let the entire Caribbean community know that they exist and that's the only law firm that you will need, okay? 844-774-3529. Here's another one. I am currently in Jamaica and thinking about going to the United States to get married. However, because of the coronavirus pandemic, I am putting it on hold. The person to whom I'll be marrying is an American citizen. However, I don't have any pictures or other evidence of our relationship. Do you think this will affect the filing process? Alan?
No, I don't think it'll affect the filing process. The question is, when are you going to get married? Is she going to come to Jamaica and marry you there? Are you going to try to do a fiance visa and come here as a fiance? And then if things look good, you'll admit you for 90 days. And if you get married here, once the fiance visa is issued to you, and not easy to do, but anyway, and then you don't have to go back home. So
they're planning on coming to the United States to get married. You said it all depends on.
Well, no, the idea is this: it's not a good idea to come to the United States on a visitor's visa intending to get married, because they can accuse you of committing fraud. So the idea is that probably she should come to Jamaica and marry you there, or she should file for a fiance visa for you. And if they issue you a fiance visa, you come here. You got 90 days to decide if you're going to get married. And if you get married here, you don't have to go back home. You can change the permanent resident from the fiance visa.
Or you can have the petitioner call PPID and just handle the whole thing. So this way you don't screw up anything and get yourself in trouble. That's the reason why we say get yourself a consultation. Get yourself a consultation. Find out what really needs to be done, rather than going out there and jumping off the bridge and hoping that you will live. You can't do that. Don't do that. Okay. 844-774-3529. Make sure you call, ladies and gentlemen. All right, got another question. Here's one for you, Conrad. I have a question regarding filing for my siblings. I filed for my mother, who now resides in New York City. She's unemployed and disabled with several medical issues, including dementia. I have 3 siblings in Jamaica who are my mother's children. Can she file for them, or should I do so since my mother's unemployed and sick? I'm seeking your advice on how to proceed with this matter.
Well, that's a difficult situation. I mean, certainly normal circumstances, you want your mother to apply for the kids. She has a green card, you said, or she's a citizen?
She didn't say. Didn't say.
Let's assume
Well,
she
has a green card. If she has a green card, she can apply for the kids. I'm assuming they're all over 21. As long as they're not married, she can apply for them, and they would come to the United States within 10 years. Or if he's a U.S. citizen, he can apply for his siblings directly, but that'll take at least 15 years. Yeah, it's a tough call because his mom doesn't sound like she's in good health. If she were to pass away before the cases were completed, those cases would be basically out the window. So it probably is safer. I mean, again, I don't know what her health situation is, but it's probably safer for the brother or the sibling to just apply for his siblings and wait out the clock there, because it's going to take, no matter what you do, it's going to take time. The financial circumstances of the mother aren't really relevant right now. I mean, if she applies and she's still around 8 to 10 years from now, at that point, they can proceed with the case. They can get joint sponsors to provide for support. But again, it's a judgment call in terms of how well his mom is going to be and whether she's going to survive the process.
I would say they should actually give
Let me add to that. Conrad has just described 2 different types of cases. One where, and I'm suggesting that do both cases at the same time. Let the mother file and let the sibling file. The sibling case will take a long time. The mother case, if she stays alive, won't take a long time. Do both cases to protect yourself.
Gotcha.
Oh, I mean, that's certainly an option. And, you know, you can submit 15 different applications to get your green card. And whichever one happens first is fine. You can submit as many as you like. But, of course, talking about spending money. So, you know, that obviously is going to be a consideration as well.
Right. Once again, you heard the gentleman here. I have one more question, and this is a very interesting one. Once again, folks, you're in tune to Cruising with a Case Handler. The firm that brings this to you happens to be Pollack, Isaac, and Nasico. It's a firm based in New York City at 225 Broadway on the 3rd floor with offices in Peekskill, also in New York, and in Brooklyn. But call them now. Schedule a consultation with one of the immigration attorneys. Call them now if you get hurt in an accident and you're in New Jersey or New York, and ask for Adam Handler, the case handler, 844-774-3529. Even if you don't need the number now, you need to have the number of a powerful full-service law firm. And that firm is Pollack, Isaac, and Nasico. 844 PPID Law. Here's the final question on immigration. Very interesting one. We'll hear what the attorneys here have to say on the show Cruising with a Case Handler. I have a friend who went through a lawyer to do his United States citizenship interview in January 2019. However, the lawyer did not present himself with my friend at the interview. This is his 3rd time applying for citizenship. The interviewing officer told him that based on outstanding information / documents such as child support in Jamaica, as well as DNA support, she will send the file to her superior / coworker to look at. In a previous interview, he was asked if he had any children in Jamaica. His answer was that his name was called, but he was not sure the child belongs to him. You guys get what that means, right? His name was called, but he's not sure the child belongs to him. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm smiling here. The officer said they would inform him via mail of their decision. If he's not successful, can this be appealed? Very interesting question. Gentlemen, you're the stalwarts when it comes to immigration law. I need to hear an answer.
Well, there's no appeal because it hasn't been denied yet. The idea is that we would like to look at the case and talk to this person, try to straighten this out with USCIS. And there's an issue about whether the child is his or not his, but you need somebody to help with that. And probably best to call us, and because I don't think you're happy with the present lawyer that you're doing it with.
I don't believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, attorneys, that he's going to get anywhere fast, considering that they're actually coming back at him multiple times in reference to whether or not he has a child or not. And basically he's saying that his name was called, meaning that they may have mentioned that he is the father of the child. Okay. So
I'm not even sure why that's relevant. I mean, typically in a citizenship context, the only reason they're asking about kids normally is to make sure that the parent is supporting that child. So I don't really understand what the problem here is, or how they've been dealing with it. If it's not his child, you get a blood test, prove that it's not your child. If it is your child, you get a blood test proving it's your child and show you're supporting the child. Doesn't sound like he is supporting the child. But I mean, that could solve the problem. But this is kind of it seems a little intricate in terms of what's been going on here. You need to give us more details. I would suggest you make a phone call.
Absolutely. Once again, that's the reason why you reach out to PPID. That's the reason why you go with the experienced attorneys. That's the reason why you don't go anywhere else. You stick with PPID. Are you down with PPID, Adam?
Come on, man. Am I down with PPID? Of course I'm down with PPID, fool.
Definitely. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Any final words you got to say, Conrad?
I'm good. I think we covered a lot of ground today. And I mean, I have nothing to add. No, I've said enough today.
You said it all.
All right. And Alan, what's your words before we go?
Well, we're still accepting applications for DACA. So if you haven't filed for DACA, you may be able to do it now. If you have filed for DACA, you're entitled to get a 2-year extension. Previously was 1 year. So if you have any DACA questions, give us a call.
Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Please mention our newsletter. We've been talking about our newsletter, remember?
Absolutely. And ladies and gentlemen watching us, if you would like to actually, well, I'm quite sure you would like to be a part of the newsletter at the firm Pollack, Isaac, and DeSico. All you need to do is put your email address in the, as a matter of fact, just email CEP@PPID.com. It's PPID.com?
Yeah.
CEP@PPID.com. That's easy. CEP@PPID.com. You can send your emails in. We're going to put up a link, okay, so that we can capture people's emails, those who are interested in getting updates on immigration. All the updates that Alan is giving ever so often, every week, you will get those updates. You will know what's going on, because a lot of us don't know enough about what's going on. We're completely ignorant of so many things. So let's get it done. All you've got to do, just email CEP@PPID.com. That's it. All right. And for personal injury, it's ash@PPID.com. Right?
Well, the thing is, the firm puts out a newsletter every week or two, which provides information in all the areas of the law that the firm deals with, including immigration and personal injury and litigation and real estate. And we prepare a pretty comprehensive newsletter. So it only goes out to the people that are on our distribution list, which is an email list of 10, 20,000 names. But a lot of the information we talk about on the show every day is in writing in those newsletters. So it's a really, I think, valuable resource. So if you're interested in receiving it, we do need your email address and we'll add it to the list.
Opt-in. All right. Thank you so much, Conrad. Thank you so much, Alan. Thank you so much, Adam Handler. Great show as usual. All right.
Thank you so much.
We're injecting that energy in the show at the beginning, Mr. Case Handler. And we'll do it all over again tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, have yourself an amazing day. We're well on our way to a better nation. Thank you. Be good. Bye-bye.